Welcome back to Genshin Impact! Woo! Venti's playing music to celebrate. Yeah, I've kind of got Venti at an okay point now. He still needs a lot of work, but he's at an okay usable point at the moment. It's gonna take a while with artifact luck. Okay, Venti, that's not funny. You shouldn't be laughing at that. Quickly run through our dailies and we're gonna work on the event some more. Hi.
Yep.
Welcome. Welcome to the stream.
Well, yeah, I know I'm in hell.
Actually, I need to fix something real quick. This is not correct. That.
I thought I was still at work.
Oh, that's all jobs, isn't it? There we go. I'm a little bit too big on the screen. There we go. That's where I wanted to be. Alright, so we got dailies here, and here, and here. Okay, cool. We're gonna try and run dailies with Mr. Venti of Kazuha today. I've gotten used to Kazuha. I'm gonna try and see how Venti goes.
Choice.
I mean, I know Venti's probably better for like a large group of mobs. Kazuha's easier for smaller groups. Even though Kazuha can still hit bigger groups. He's just a little bit more well adjusted. That and you can't use Venti's E mid-flight, so... Badge. Edge times. Wouldn't gliding be faster? Yes, Venti. Yes.
Kazuha just raises the bar for characters.
Yeah, I've become a good fan of Kazuha.
Not me not knowing when Kazuha came out that he was gonna be as good as he is. It's a really big bummer. All I saw was a different version of Venti. And I found Sucrose to be better at a team level.
There's a lot of characters that just have their, like, different spots. They're, like, even if a character on the surface seems like it is around the same level, they always have a little bit of a difference that make them unique and different. In the case of Kazuha versus Venti, there's just, you know, one's better at, I guess, one-shot comps. And like really grouping up. He has a better grouping scheme than Kazuha does. At least
Does have a really good swirl effect.
Kazuha has a faster ability to swirl, it feels like. Because his E cooldown is very small and he can use it to jump and everything. It's easier for exploration wise.
For takeoff.
Yes, there's some drawbacks.
Think you
to
can
it,
get away?
Cascade.
but I was
Yahoo!
thinking about anything else other than I need someone to help. And the revival part and the healing part that
Here we go.
Q does.
Everybody stand back. Brace yourselves.
Cascade.
really good. Especially if you pair it with Raiden or Yaimiko, where's an electro character. Beidou. Beidou's Q and then Kokumi's Q. Good.
My favorite duo, Kokumi and Raiden. The favorite duo.
Now,
Ba ba bum ba
go
bum.
with Barbara. So Beidou's Q, then Barbara. Well, you can do E. The Q is once, and if you have to stay on Barbara, you get water on you. And then you get shocked by your own characters. As far as I know, the other time you can get Hydro applied to you with Kokomi is with
Eh.
S or E.
Yeah, you always only get it at the start.
Time
You
for
don't get
takeoff.
Hydro applied to you with Q.
You're ramping up.
Be still.
For the wolf boss. Have a healer, be the shielder.
Observe. Here we go. Think you can get away? Teamwork is strength.
That's far.
Yahoo!
Betty's is really good in certain aspects of it. However, I don't feel the flow in combat that I've seen and have felt with Kazuha. The flow in combat is just, it feels better.
It probably just takes getting used to. Like, I've been playing with Kazuha for like months. And
I don't have Kazuha, but whenever when I had a chance to done trial runs or use them, like in one of the events, you could use Kazuha. It just, the flow of the battle was good.
The power of Canada!
No,
The power of Canada.
Wouldn't gliding be faster?
not the power of Canada, the power of maple syrup.
Wouldn't gliding be faster?
Stop saying wouldn't gliding be faster.
Wouldn't gliding be faster? If I had to have Venti on the team, I had to use him, and having to hear that, I would. Yes, it's a game. I would walk everywhere. Fight.
Oh. Alright, that's all my dailies now. I'm just gonna swap back to Kazuha for the moment.
All right.
While I run through these festival quests. Oh, hold on a second.
Festival.
Yes.
This to my superiors?
Festival. I have to go meet the next person at the docks.
Add Astra.
Add Astra, add the sauce, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Let's see here. J. That's not it. Aha. You don't seem like a troublemaker.
Fighting the Oceanid.
Oceanid. You know, can we get a Raiden kimono skin?
So, Raiden, Yaimiko, Official, Zhongli. This is how I'm taking on the Oceanid.
Yeah, can we seriously just get a Raiden kimono skin like on the banners? I really like it. It looks so good. Oh look, yeah, Miko's on that one. Of course, why wouldn't they be? Alright, who am I meeting at the docks this time? Let's go. I think it's maybe Shincho, maybe? Because they said he was coming next.
Hi there! You must be visiting from Liyue to participate in the Iridori Festival. We'll be your guides and we'll take you onto the island.
Oh yeah, these are the Theater Mechanicus people, aren't they? Aren't you?
Is it Paimon or have we met somewhere before?
Yes, in fact we have. I'm Shu from Feiyun Commerce Guild. Aboard this ship we have calligraphers, painters, and even players of Theater Mechanicus. The inventor of Theater Mechanicus previously came to the Feiyun Commerce Guild seeking investment.
Investment.
The guild manager was not interested. The master still wanted to support them. We heard that they'd be demonstrating the game and letting people try Theater Mechanicus at the Iridori Festival. So the guild manager instructed Master and I to take the opportunity to come to Inazuma and investigate the product's potential.
Oh, speaking
Why does his voice sound so close to Tartaglia? Like, it's just a little bit off.
Master, he's,
Whoa! Shincho's just sitting there. Sound asleep.
Oh,
What?
there's Shincho.
I can't remember the last time that I actually
It's the
logged
traveler in Paimon. I
logged
presume you're
as
guests in
being
Inazuma
guest.
as well? Seems fate has destined our paths to cross once again.
Oh, we aren't actually guests. We're actually guides for the Iridori Festival.
Shincho, how are you doing?
No need to worry. I was a little too caught up in a novel on the voyage here. When I finally realized what time it was, the first rays of dawn were already peeking over the horizon. Yes, now that we've arrived, the Kanjo Commission will likely wish to inspect our invitation letter. Let's keep it in hand, shall we? Huh? That's odd.
What's wrong?
There was a piece of paper underneath my bag. Strange. I don't recall seeing it there before.
Ooh, let Paimon have a look.
The 5 Kasen Splendor, Aoi no Ikina. Glorious court life was my youth, in my old age in moonlit haze. I had not wished to behave so treacherously, but my very life has been threatened. Well, I sought my own work and hid them in my clothes. Do not understand the reason behind all this has happened, only that mysterious person's motives must be pervasive. The poem was dedicated to Akihito, who, to my great sorrow, was banished.
There's no doubt about it. It's from the same series as the story we found before. Even the handwriting looks looks
have a feeling
exactly
one of
the
the Carlson
same.
is just Venti.
The story you found before?
Oh yeah, in the warehouse down by the.
I mean, I already have that picture.
No, it's actually Venti.
Ahem.
One of the actual original.
The poem hunt competition.
With the stories I've
Yeah, that's
listened
it.
to, I'm
A
like,
friend
yeah,
of ours
that's
is
it.
on Rito to paint portraits of the five Kasen. You know,
Please
as
be
part of the
kind.
Iridori Festival. Poetic stories about the five Kasen have been hidden in various places nearby. If you can find one of the stories and give it to this friend of ours, then there's a chance you'll become the model for the next portrait.
Wait a moment. So you mean that...
Uh-oh, he's onto us.
Hey, it's hard coming up with stuff on the spot like that.
There's a chance of meeting Calx in person?
Huh? Oh, yeah. You could say that.
Really?
Now Venti's trying to join me.
I knew that Calx would attend the Irodori Festival.
How dare
but the
you?
reason he offered to let me come to Inazuma was proving to be quite the high hurdle. I had to really rack my mind to come up with the excuse of evaluating the investment value of Theater Mechanicus. Just a few days later, word then came that Calx would be busy painting portraits of the five Kasen during the festival. It is a most rare opportunity for both Calx and I to be in Inazuma together, but it seemed he would be too busy with the portraits to meet with me. So, I felt quite disappointed for some time now.
Well, let's go talk to him.
Don't worry, Shinjo. Even though Calx has work to do, he still has time to see friends. We can take you to see him right now. Also, we heard that Calx did illustrations for your A Legend of Sword novel.
Ah, so you've already heard. To be honest, my works have drawn little interest in Liyue. However, the novels are selling quite well in Inazuma with the help of Calx's beautiful illustrations. Calx is not only a skilled artist, but he also carries out his craft with great alacrity. I heard that it took him merely a few hours to finish the illustrations for the latest chapter. But when I looked at the art, the brushwork did not even look the slightest bit rushed. His work is truly exquisite. Oh my, I was beginning to get carried away there. Let us depart, quickly now.
Fanboy.
Luckily, the idea of meeting Albedo managed to draw Shincho's attention and keep the situation under wraps. Let's just hope we don't let anything slip while meeting Albedo.
Seeing the sun rising day after day.
To Albedo. Let's go to Albedo. Hey, Mr. Albedo.
Traveler, Paimon, how are you? And who is this accompanying you?
You must be Calx. It's a great pleasure to finally meet you. I am the author of A Legend of Sword, forgive me. It's rude of me to introduce myself by my pen name when meeting in person. Please, call me Xingqiu.
And you may call me Albedo, then.
No, that would be most improper.
Why not? Seeing as we're both friends of the Traveler, it'd be more convenient for us to use our real names. Besides, we've already corresponded with each other many times before. In fact, I feel a bit self-conscious seeing you act so politely.
It's not just you, Albedo. We haven't seen Shinjo act this awkward before either.
It's a real eye-opener, that's for sure.
You guys, it's certainly not good taste for you two to be teasing me like that. Oh, by the way, we happened to find a story from the poem hunt competition at the docks. I heard that you are collecting them.
Poem hunt?
You know, that thing where we have to find pieces of paper with stories of the five Kasen? Venti found one, and then he was allowed to be a model for one of your portraits.
Huh? Oh, yes, that's right. Oh, I understand the story now. Thank you. It's very helpful.
Splendid. Though, I'm still piecing together the story myself. Would you kindly explain it to me in more detail?
If all of you are free, why don't we discuss this over a meal?
Over a meal?
Well, about that.
Do you have other plans, Shincho?
No, not at all. Speaking of dining, Shimura's unagi chasuke is quite delicious. Would you like to go there?
Shimura's. Unfortunately, today is a bit windy. How about Uyu Restaurant instead?
That's perfectly fine with me. But I must first unpack my luggage. Let's meet later at Uyu Restaurant.
Something didn't quite add up just now.
Huh? No way! Everyone thinks we acted well together. Did we say something we weren't supposed to?
No, Paimon, I'm not referring to us. Traveler, what are your thoughts?
Xingqiu is a little suspicious.
Shincho's suspicious? Hey, what are you two talking about?
Paimon, you read the poem, right? Although it may seem confusing to Xingqiu on its own, what if we read it together with a previous poem we found?
Read them together? Let's see. Suiko lost Aoi no Okina's poem in a drunken stupor. So, Aoi no Okina recovered the poem and gave it to some mysterious person. Huh? Wait a minute. Could today's story be hinting that the one who stole the latest copies of A Legend of Sword is Shincho himself? No way! That can't be right! Shincho only arrived in Inazuma this morning!
And that is precisely the point of suspicion. If Xingqiu had only just arrived in Inazuma, how could he recommend Shimura's Chasuke? Moreover, he didn't raise any questions when I suggested another place because of the windy weather. This means he knows that Shimura's is an open-air restaurant.
Are you saying that Shincho has already been in Inazuma for some time? And that he's only pretending he just arrived?
Sounds about right.
Yes, that is indeed my conclusion.
But how could Shincho be the book thief? His mission is to fight for justice, isn't it? There's no way he'd do something against his own ideals.
Calm down, Paimon. Even though this is the first time I've met Xingqiu in person, we've communicated via letters for some time now. I do have some understanding of his character. I think there must be some deeper motive at play here. The story also tells us that Aoi no Okina flees with a poem because of a threat.
Oh? Could Shincho be in danger?
It's difficult to say at this point. But given that Uyu Restaurant is indoors, it'll be easy for us to detect anyone following or eavesdropping on us. I think it should be safe for us to talk there. I'll be relying on your assistance to get to the bottom of this matter.
Let's get to the bottom of this.
And let's head to Uyu Restaurant.
Uyu Restaurant.
Time to go.
I don't see anyone suspicious around. It seems clear for the moment. Let's go inside and wait for Xingqiu.
Oh, this whole thing's starting to make Paimon a little nervous. What do we do? And what do we talk about when Shincho gets here?
First, we must ascertain whether Xingqiu was already in Inazuma or not. If we can find evidence of him deceiving us, then we can use it as leverage to persuade him to tell us the truth. Since we're still waiting for him, why don't you go and chat with other guests in the restaurant and see if you can learn anything useful?
Anything useful? Entering this restaurante.
Hello there. What can I get for you?
Hi! Do you have any special recommendations today?
Why, of course. I'd personally recommend our freshly caught seafood. It's been pouring these past 2 days, so the fishing boats haven't been able to sail at all. But the weather finally cleared up today, so we have some fresh catch.
So the weather at sea has been bad these past few days?
It sure has. A few guests from Liyue were just telling me that their boat was heaving and rolling all the way here. They couldn't do anything but sleep the entire trip.
Oh, this might be some useful information.
Welcome to Uyu
I wasn't trying to talk to you. There we are.
The last phase of the Irodori Festival is when they release the all-new publications. The one I'm really looking forward to is A Legend of Sword.
That's right. A signed first edition is going to become quite the collectible. I've got to get my hands on a copy.
I've seen Genyu's signature before. His handwriting is super neat. He must be really diligent about his style.
He'll be there in person on the day of the release, so we'll get a good look at him then. I hear that he's actually pretty young.
Wait a minute. Did you just hear that? Not only will Shincho be signing novels at the release, but his handwriting is super neat?
Sounds suspicious.
Albedo, what should we talk about when Shincho gets here? Any ideas?
I will try to break the ice by talking about our work on novels and illustrations. If he really is hiding something, then he might feel even more nervous than we do. If we start by talking about our work creating novels, perhaps he will lower his guard.
Oh, come to think of it, Shincho mentioned that he'd like to thank you for finishing the illustrations on time. He said they looked amazing despite the time you had.
Is that so? That is also a very valuable clue.
How was that a clue? That was like a compliment to me.
That was delicious. Inazuman cuisine largely consists of fresh seafood, which is certainly to my liking.
That's good. We were worried you might not have an appetite because you didn't sleep well. Now's our chance. Let's talk to Shincho and see if he says anything useful. Maybe we could start by asking him about the journey.
Talk about his thoughts regarding the journey. Talk about the book he read during the voyage. Talk about the scenery on the journey. The thoughts.
Well, I've never embarked on such a long journey before. Though I was quite excited when we set off, the long days at sea quickly became most monotonous.
Speaking of the journey, did anything noteworthy happen along the way?
Well, to be honest, I spent most of the trip with my nose in a novel.
Well, that didn't tell us much.
Okay. Talk about the book he read.
Hey, Shincho. What book were you reading on the way here?
Oh, I was reading a novel called Pretty Please Kitsune Guji. It was sent to me by my editor.
Didn't you feel dizzy while reading on the ship?
It was nothing I couldn't handle. Don't forget, I'm proficient in the arts of the Guhua clan. That being said, there were quite a few people aboard who felt seasick.
Well, there doesn't seem to be anything suspicious about what he said so far.
Alright, and the scenery.
To be honest, there wasn't much to see. Just water all around, morning to night. The sheer monotony of the trip caused everyone to grow a little impatient. So, when the peak of Mount Yogo finally appeared in the distance as we approached the islands of Inazuma, everyone crowded the deck to have a look. However, the ship sailed along at a crawling pace. It took a whole day from the time we saw the mountain peak to the time we docked.
Paimon didn't catch anything suspicious so far.
No, there was something really suspicious.
Oh, right! If it took an entire day to reach the docks, then it would have been pouring rain at the time they saw the top of the mountain.
We learned a couple of things from his account, but we still require more evidence. Let's discuss creating novels with Shincho.
Talk about Albedo's illustrations.
Speaking of illustrations, Albedo, I've long wished to express my sincerest gratitude for providing the illustrations in my novel. My novel didn't sell well in Liyue, so I must admit that I had some reservations regarding its potential. Yet you've consistently managed to select the most important scene of the chapter for your illustrations. This made me feel as though what I was trying to express could be understood after all.
Thank you. However, I took some risks in the illustrations, so I'm feeling slightly uneasy myself.
Risk.
Light novel illustrations are typically centered around the characters, but this time, I adopted a different approach in the illustration for the last chapter.
Oh?
Well, that scene was intended to depict the change in the world, so I thought it very fitting to draw only scenery.
Doesn't sound like anything suspicious has come up so far.
There was a crack in his alibi. My illustrations were sent for printing the moment they arrived in Inazuma. So, logically speaking, there's no way he could possibly know what the illustrations look like. Xingqiu, we have something very important to ask you now.
Oh? Why the solemn looks all of a sudden?
Xingqiu, what's with the facade?
Huh? I'm afraid I don't follow.
Mr. Okazaki told us earlier that actually the weather at sea was very bad these last few days. So when you said that everyone came running to the deck to see Mount Yogo, that couldn't have happened!
On top of that, the latest installment of A Legend of Sword will only be revealed at the Irodori Festival. Even we, the creators, haven't received a sample copy. If that's the case, how could you know what my illustrations look like?
Well...
The jig's up, Xingqiu. You were already in Inazuma before today, weren't you? Are you in some kind of danger but can't tell us the truth? Don't worry. The Traveler and Albedo are no pushovers. We can help you.
No, please. You misunderstand me. I suppose my lack of sleep is inevitably taking its toll on my mind. I didn't notice for a moment that you were testing me at all. I did in fact come to Inazuma early to handle some things. Let me consider how to explain this. Oh, this is most embarrassing.
Oh, well, if this isn't a coincidence.
Welcome back, Venti.
Expect to see everyone
Hi,
here.
Venti.
Huh? Tone Deaf Bard, what are you doing here?
Tone deaf bard.
I heard that the owner of this establishment has some fine-aged wines. I didn't want to miss the opportunity to taste them.
Paimon knew you couldn't possibly be up to anything good.
Says who? In fact, I come as the bearer of good tidings. I just bumped into Kujo Sara a moment ago. She said that the Tenryou Commission has apprehended the criminal who stole all those copies of A Legend of Sword. You needn't worry about it any longer.
Huh? The criminal who stole A Legend of Sword?
Did I say something I shouldn't have?
Yes.
Oh no. The person they apprehended. Was it by chance an editor named Onodera?
Apologies, Kujo Sara didn't mention a name. But I saw her taking someone toward Hanamizaka.
Everyone, it's too late to explain. We must make haste and rescue Onodera.
Wait. Is this what I think it is? Is this gonna be like the prison break, like the beginning of the Inazuma? Is it time for a prison break? Okay, we'll go from here. Iclosa.
Time to go.
Please, wait. Onodera is innocent.
Oh, so you must be the author of A Legend of Sword. I didn't expect to see others tagging along with you.
Anyway, you mustn't take him away. I can explain everything.
No need to worry, Zhenyu. I've just explained everything to Madame Kujo, and Kuroda has testified for me.
Yes. In fact, we were just getting ready to leave.
Oh, phew. What a relief. Wait a minute. Does everyone else here already know?
Well, to be precise, we had dispatched 2 additional squads here, in order to prevent the suspect from escaping.
Shincho looks pretty flustered. What exactly is going on here?
I bet it has something to do with his signature.
Though it's most embarrassing, it appears quite a few people are aware of the situation now. There's no use keeping it a secret. In the end, I'm the one responsible for this whole predicament.
No, Genyu. It's only appropriate that I take responsibility for this. Everyone, please let me explain.
Somebody freaking explain.
Story Festival? I recommended the idea of selling newly released novels signed by the authors. Not only was this the first major project I was in charge of since joining the Yae publishing house, but Lady Yae also gave me a lot of support. However, I did not discuss our plans with the authors in advance. As a result, it caused a great deal of trouble for Genyu.
Yes, to be frank, calligraphy is not my strong point, so signing events are really not my forte.
Even though such an event will be difficult for Genyu, after telling him how important the plans were to me, he immediately boarded a ship to Inazuma to come up with a solution. So these past few days, Genyu has been actively practicing his handwriting. However, it takes time to sign each book, and we realized the time we reserved for the signing was not nearly enough. So I came up with the idea of moving the new books from the warehouse to my place. That way, Genyu could use these few days to sign them all. I thought everything would work out without a hitch. I never expected that someone would immediately realize that the books were missing from the warehouse. To make things worse, I was on vacation and staying with Genyu in my house these past few days. I had no idea that the situation had turned into such a huge mess. All of this happened because I wanted to prove myself through this event.
Onodera, I agreed to your proposal because I didn't want the readers to know of my unsightly handwriting. Also, I knew that Onodera had been misled by one of my prior signatures. At a previous event, the Yae publishing house had requested autographs of authors so that they could be put on display. I practiced tirelessly for an entire day to finally deliver a stylish and elegant signature for the event. But looking back on it now, I had dug myself into a hole by delivering that nice signature for the sake of my pride.
Hey, come on, you two. Loosen up a little. The theft was nothing more than a simple misunderstanding. Besides, everyone has something they do not wish others to see.
Yeah, that's right. All that matters is that Shincho and his books are okay.
Onodera, I think you should explain the truth regarding the stolen books to the rest of the people on Rito.
Yes, I understand. I'll apologize to everyone.
We should probably be heading back to Rito as well. Let's tag along.
Alright, back to the Outlander Affairs Agency. Have you already completed the event?
Not all of it.
Time to go.
I don't even know if it's like complete right now. I don't know. I don't know how far it goes right now.
Onodera, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be on leave these few days?
I'm very sorry for all the trouble that I've caused.
Yes, Onodera, but why didn't you tell everyone earlier? If you had told us, we could have thought of some ways to help you.
That's right. We're a team, and we should be helping each other in tough situations like this.
Let's leave the past behind us now. Our first priority is to help Genyu with his signatures. How is your progress so far?
My progress is not
Ba-ba-bum-bum-bum-bum.
Even after working through the night these past few days, I've only finished perhaps 1/10 of the signatures.
Oh, no wonder Shincho looked so sleepy today.
I understand. Murata, go back to Yae Publishing House and get Aratani to book a room on the second floor of the Uyu restaurant. We'll be using it for Genyu's emergency calligraphy lessons.
Yes, Mr. Hirayama. It just so happens that my brother is a calligrapher. Should I ask him to lend his assistance as well?
Yes, good idea. Ah, you've just reminded me. 2 calligraphers from Liyue arrived today. We've worked with them before, so I'll go and ask them to help out too.
It seems I'm really in for it now.
No need to worry, Zhenyu. I'm sure you can do it. Didn't you finish the last chapter of your novel in just 1 week's time?
Yes, but writing novels and learning calligraphy are 2 entirely different skills.
Even though Xingqiu still has to deal with his handwriting issue, Paimon somehow feels a little relieved now.
I always used to prefer working alone in my workshop, but I've come to realize that solving problems with others also has its merits.
We also owe a special ode of gratitude to the mysterious person who has been leaving important info for us along the way.
Huh? You mean whoever left behind those stories about the 5 Kasen?
Pardon me, but what are you talking about?
Oh, right. We haven't had a chance to explain things to Xingqiu yet.
I see. It appears that Onodera and I were spotted when we were moving the books. Albedo, may I ask you one thing? Are you able to include me in a portrait as well? Not only do I owe the successful resolution of today's incident to that story, but I also hope that I'll remember this lesson.
No problem. Considering the similarities between the portrait and the events that have taken place, your proposal is very reasonable.
Aha.
That figure was none other than Aoi no Okina himself. This turn of events had begun with an unnamed individual, under whose coercion, Aoi no Okina was forced to take drastic measures to retrieve a page of poetry. He knew nothing of this individual's true intentions. All he knew was that the poem had to do with an old acquaintance, Akahito.
And there we go. Xingqiu's portrait.
He finished the portrait of Aoi no Okina in no time at all. Wonder how Xingqiu's calligraphy training is going at Uyu Restaurant. Hey, do you think whoever left those stories for us could be hiding somewhere nearby?
It's a possibility.
Oh, hello? Mr. Storywriter? Are you here? Could you please help Xingqiu with something? He's a friend of ours, and the release of his new book is super important to him.
Okay.
What's that sound? It was just a cat. Looks like we can't make them reveal themselves that easily. It's getting late now. Let's go back and get some rest. We still have to go to the docks and wait for...
That cat's kind of suspicious. A new painting. I'll do the theater mechanics after. Wait for the following day.
It's already time for us to be at the docks. Let's go!
Let's grab the next person.
Ship stopover, 1 person. Does that mean we're only welcoming 1 guest today?
And that person is...
Look, that figure on the wharf. It looks like Kazuha.
Oh my god. I have a look-alike over there. What are you doing? Hello?
Just watching some video.
I have a lookalike over here. There's double Kazuhas.
Well, there always should be double Kazuhas.
I'm you, but stronger.
And better.
And better artifacts.
Greetings, traveler in Paimon. I heard there would be guides for the Iridori festival, but I didn't expect it would be you two.
We didn't expect to see you either.
Actually, I can expect Kazuha to be one of the Kasen.
No doubt.
That makes sense.
Myself when I received
It makes a lot of sense.
But after wandering the outside world for so long, it's good to have an opportunity to return to my homeland and pay respect to
Yeah.
my old friends.
Kazuha,
What do you mean it makes no sense?
just now, you seem to be looking for something.
I can see
What
Venti.
happened?
Ah,
Because
yes.
it said that the,
You see, when I came off the boat with everyone just now, I suddenly heard light footsteps around me.
Well, they have like several Kasen.
But by the time I turned around, the person had already disappeared. I only heard a splash come from below the pier. Even though I didn't manage to catch a glimpse of them.
I mean, Kazuha's kind of like a music lover.
A strange piece of paper by my feet.
Oh, does the paper happen to have a poem written on it?
But I don't think any of it really happened while.
Huh. How
all
did
the
you know?
drones are alive, except for, you know, Venti and Raiden.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, most of these are false.
It's almost hard to believe.
They're not the actual people, but
Which, my big question is, they want more information on the Kasen, and they seem to have a similar person. That's
it could be ancestors.
one similar person in all the stories. Well, at least the two that I've seen so far. Is the Shogun.
Yeah.
So would Raiden or A know about that?
Or maybe even Makoto.
It could be Makoto.
Like, in the case of it being Kazuha, it would probably be an ancestor or something, obviously, but... we know one, for sure, because it's in the Yaimiko's quest line. The story quest. With,
Was it all just Yaimiko? And Yaimiko would know.
I mean, she could be one of the fucking Kazen.
Sure, here it is. Please, have a look.
The 5 Kazen Splendor, Akihito. Long have I been famed, and since my youth had a great ambition, I stamped every new verse with a scarlet seal, and thus I was known to all. But last year when we presented our verses, mine was found to be taken from the poet's past. From the theft and deception, I was banished into the wilderness. The 5 radiant lights never shall be again. Ah, how the tides shift.
Last time, Aoi no Okina's poem ended with a reference to Akihito. And sure enough, this is a story about him. Story this time basically says that Akihito got his name from his love of red seals. However, the Shogun discovered that he had committed plagiarism, and he was soon exiled. Well, if Paimon were to rate today's story, it sounds pretty unfortunate.
Exiled from Inazuma. That sounds kind of familiar, right, Kazuha?
I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with this story. I too was once wanted as a criminal by the shogunate. So I'm not all that different from Akihito mentioned in this story.
Indeed you aren't.
According to the story, Akihito was exiled by the Shogun because of his wrongdoings. You did nothing wrong, Kazuha. Huh? Traveler, what are you thinking about?
Form and leaving a note. She invited everybody that needed to be here that resembled the Kasen.
It only makes sense. She is a very, very scheming.
Scheming?
Yeah.
Not evilly scheming, just
She just manipulates people into doing the way things she wants them to be. Just like her story quest with the book. She got everybody to do the ritual without knowing they're doing a ritual. They're just like, ah, nothing happened. But in theory, to them, yeah, it didn't happen. But it actually did. Maybe it can help Xingqiu.
By the way, you mentioned that your friend has been struggling because he's unable to sign his name quickly, right?
You know how to write it, huh?
In Azuma, there is a saying, that which has been stamped has also been signed. Perhaps using a seal could be a feasible solution. While sailing at sea, I sometimes carve things to pass the time. If you wish to create a stamp for his seal, I might be able to help.
Huh.
Wow, that's an idea. Quick, let's go tell Albedo.
A new painting in pale scarlet. Oh. Let's go talk to Albedo. Let's go talk to Albedo. Let's go talk to Albedo for the third time in general.
You have a bad habit with tunes.
Yeah. They're not gonna kill me over that.
Albedo, we figured out a way to help Xingqiu.
Interesting. A story of the 5 Kasen appears again, and with a timely solution. A stamped seal, huh? Let me think. Indeed, it is an efficient solution. If we use a stamp, then Xingqiu won't have to struggle with his handwriting anymore. However...
You notice we literally saw Aito for like 1 second at the beginning of the event, and I haven't seen him since. How does his story quest need to be a prerequisite? It makes 0 sense.
Well, it doesn't make sense where we call him a good friend at the beginning of this event.
Is that all it says? Like we could say that to anybody and it has 0 meaning. However,
since Xingqiu's signature has been previously revealed to the readers, it would seem insincere if he only used the stamped seal for his new books. But I have another idea. Using a seal is a part of it, of course. Let's go to Uyu Restaurant now to discuss my idea with everyone.
back to Uyu Restaurant. They're getting business right now.
Better than street models.
Yes, that's it, Genyu. Your writing has greatly improved today, which means yesterday's intensive training was effective.
Intense training.
Apologies, but I simply can't do it anymore. My hands are so sore that I can't even move them anymore. I should have known better than to read novels during calligraphy class.
You just had a 10-minute break. Come on, you can do this.
Oh.
When it comes to pushing a deadline, there's no one more brutal than Mr. Hirayama.
No wonder Lady Ai would always send the editorial director to handle troublesome authors.
Whoa, this is getting scary. It hasn't even been that long and Xingqiu's already zombified.
Mr. Hirayama, we found a solution that might just solve our dilemma. In both Liyue and Inazuma, seals are widely used as the equivalents of a signature. If we use a stamp to leave the author's seal on the books, then we could make the signature process a lot easier. Of course, a seal on its own is not enough. So, I propose that each signature consists of 2 parts. First, we'll use a personalized seal. We can simply carve one using Chenyu's signature as the design. In addition, I'll also design a simple but elegant pattern that's easy for Chenyu to write. That way, he will only need to draw a simple pattern on each book.
Let me think. Alright, I think that would work. Not only does it still involve the author's own handwriting, but the result should be very beautiful as well.
So, what you mean to say is, I've been saved from this predicament?
Mr. Hirayama, it suddenly occurred to me that the reason we gave up on live book signings previously was because it would take too long for the author to sign each book. But if we adopted Calx's proposed method, we might have enough time to do signatures at the live event. And if all the authors signed their books in the same fashion, then Genyu's signature wouldn't look out of place.
The only thing I
If
find
you think it's
frustrating
feasible,
about this
I would certainly
event
be happy to design signatures for the other
is
authors
the
as well.
teleporting.
Oh yeah.
And you may leave carving the stamps to me.
Imagine
In that
someone
case, I shall
that's on
contact the other
a
two authors participating in the new
teleport run.
release event.
It is a great honor
Except
to use a
for
signature designed
designated
by
ones
Calx.
in between worlds.
Well,
It is quite complicated and isn't suitable for signing events.
good luck to them.
If we implement this new format, then it'll be a dream come true for me as well.
You can get
Looks like
into
everyone's on board with the idea.
I'm sorry to have kept
how
you
do you
busy
get
for
out?
so long, Genyu. Please, take the next few days to have a good rest. We'll handle everything from here.
Die. That's
We did it.
Oh yeah, you'd get spawned at the statue down there. You could just never activate the statue down there.
Onodera and
That's
I
why
are
there would
finally
be
free of that
a,
mess.
That's right.
Designated
You're finally
teleport
free,
point
Xingqiu.
from out of
Maybe
world.
you should step outside for some fresh air.
So if you really wanted to go back to mod set or leeway, you'd have to vote. Because you're not doing teleports, right?
Or as I said, designated teleport points that you could use, but for the most part, no. Imagine doing your dailies.
That's why you'd only choose one region and stick with it.
On set.
We still have some time to burn. Where should we go next?
Hi, Penti again. Hey! Yes! We didn't get to see you during Hayato's quest.
Oh, it's Ayaka and Venti. That's an interesting combo.
It is an interesting combo.
Just going to the festival venue to prepare the Ikebana lesson when I found a strange piece of paper on a flower stand.
Another piece of paper.
Just happened to be close by at the time.
Okay, Venti, you're being very sus.
On similar papers recently.
You're being very sus, Venti. You're always around papers.
To find you two.
But the paper she found isn't quite the same as the ones we found before.
Here's the paper. Please have a look.
The 5 Kasen Splendor, Sumizome. I submerged the verses into clear water and the truth did emerge. There's a secret behind all the verses.
Huh. All the poems we found before were roughly the same length. But this one is only 2 lines.
Maybe it's because this one needs to be taken literally.
There are only 2 short sentences. Neither of them are next to the title or centered on the page. The position of the writing seems to indicate that there is other content written on this paper besides these 2 lines.
If we take the poem literally, it reads, "Dip this paper in water and see the truth naturally appear." Speaking of which, I have an ancient text at home, specializing in ancient and exotic stories. It mentions a special ink that will show itself when wet and disappear when it's dry.
So, shall we give it a whirl? It just so happens that there's a pond nearby.
This is just like a weird Mod Podge of characters. I do like it though.
what it says.
Going over his poetry, I found that the plagiarized piece did not have a scarlet seal. I submerged the verses into clear water, and the truth did emerge. True verses were not washed away, but the text of that despicable crime faded. Aoi Akina passed me by just as he was writing a verse for Akihito. One storm had yet to settle, and there was already time to write new poems.
Story says that after Sumizomi got the collection of poems from Akihito and put them into a stream of water, the plagiarized words in the poem became blurry. Huh? Why would that happen?
You see, Paimon, in the past, when printing was not yet well developed, handwritten text could easily become smudged in books when exposed to moisture. To ensure the text lasted longer, they'd either write using a special ink or coat the paper's surface with a waterproof coating once the writing was finished. Such special inks are time-consuming and laborious to produce, and the waterproof coating could also prove just as difficult. However, since Akihito's poetry collection was an important gift to be presented to the shogun, surely one of those two methods was used to protect it. But as for the plagiarized poems, not only would they lack Akihito's seal, but the words would also react differently when exposed to liquid.
So this poem wasn't written by Akihito.
Which means Akihito didn't plagiarize his work. He was set up.
Yes, it appears that this is the truth that Sumizome's story is trying to convey. Although the story is saddening, I've decided on the subjects to use for Akihito and Sumizome's portraits. Kazuha, Ayaka, would you be willing to be the models for my paintings?
Oh.
I would be delighted.
Yes, as would I.
There you go. The next two portraits should be ready in no time.
Yes. And now that all 4 stories have all been collected, the story of the 5 Kasen is now fully completed.
Already?
Long ago, Inazuma had 5 legendary poets. People bestowed upon them the title of the 5 Kasen.
I really love these cutscenes.
The poet Suiko made his way to Tenshukaku and presented the Kasen's work for the shogun's perusal. But a page from the works of Aoi no Okina had been torn out, and Suiko was questioned regarding the matter. Suiko pleaded guilty. He admitted to drinking at the tavern the night before, and vaguely recalled a mysterious figure approaching while he was intoxicated.
That figure was none other than Aoi no Okina himself. This turn of events had begun with an unnamed individual, under whose coercion, Aoi no Okina was forced to take drastic measures to retrieve a page of poetry. He knew nothing of this individual's true intentions. All he knew was that the poem had to do with an old acquaintance, Akihito.
Akihito had once belonged to the 5 Kasen. Each poem he composed, he marked with a scarlet red seal, hence the Aka in his name. Such a distinguished writer was he, and yet one of the poems he had submitted the previous year was found to be plagiarized. Akihito was exiled for his crimes, and only 4 of the 5 Kasen remained.
Sumizome went over Akihito's poems and noticed that the plagiarized poem lacked his seal. She immersed his poetry in a stream nearby, and only on the plagiarized poem did the ink run. Aoi no Okina passed by and witnessed Sumizome's doing, which he then recorded in a poem. Thus transpired the events of Suiko's poetry submission, and this is where the story comes to an end.
Oh, nice. I really do like those cutscenes. Paimon, what's wrong?
Ever since we completed the story of the 5 Kasen, there's still one thing Paimon hasn't been able to figure out. One of the 5 Kasen is called Kuranushi, right? It's just that... How could the story of the five Kasen finish without him appearing at all?
Oh! Have you really not noticed?
Huh? Not noticed what? This is no time to be playing games, Tone Deaf Bard!
What he means is that the story of Kuronushi was already embedded within the 4 poems.
Huh? Really?
That's right. The key lies in the poem that Aoi no Okina wrote after seeing Sumizome rinsing the poetry collection. An average person could never understand the scene of a young girl washing Akahito's poetry collection in a stream. Even Aoi no Okina couldn't figure out the meaning behind Sumizome's actions. He was simply reminiscing and thinking about his old acquaintances. However, for the perpetrator who framed Akahito, it was completely obvious. He was worried that if this poem was seen by the Shogun, then the Shogun could discover the truth behind the plagiarism incident. If that happened, then he'd be finished. So, in desperation, he threatened Aoi no Okina to make him tear out this poem.
Which means the one who threatened Aoi no Okina is the same person that framed Akahito.
The culprit is none other than Kuronushi.
What? Kuronushi?
That's right. Though there are only 4 poems, they still managed to tell the complete story of all 5 Kasen. Since the Shogun mentioned in the poems is certainly not the one of the 5 Kasen, the only character left is the mysterious one with an unknown identity.
Oh, okay. Paimon is finally starting to get it now.
However, this also brings something else to mind. The story of the 5 Kasen has more or less reflected everything that's been happening around us lately. Which begs the question, is there a Kuronushi in our world as well?
Kuronushi? In our world?
Speaking of which, I wonder if our dear Kazuha has come up with anything.
Oh, right! Kazuha! He's been pretty quiet this whole time. Let's ask him! Hey, Kazuha! Are you okay? You've been standing in front of this blank canvas for a while, and you don't look so good.
Apologies for making a wild assumption, but has the story of the 5 Kasen reminded you of anything?
Yes. A few things did come to mind, actually. However, they were nothing more than some past incidents regarding my family. I don't mind sharing the stories, but I'd prefer not to bring you any more trouble.
Hey, we're all friends here, Kazuha. You can always tell us whatever's on your mind.
Kaidehara, please forgive my assumption, but perhaps you were thinking of the Raiden Gokuden?
The Raiden Gokuden? What's that?
It appears that Miss Kamisato and I were thinking of the same thing. But it also has much to do with the Yashiro Commission. It would be improper to speak of it here without the consent of Miss Kamisato.
It's fine. Those of us here are all trustworthy, so there isn't any harm in it. However, this matter is somewhat complicated and may be difficult to explain. Let me start with the Raiden Gokuden. As you all know, the Yashiro Commission's primary purpose is managing ceremonial and cultural affairs, and Inazuma's art of forging swords is a very important part of our culture. The Raiden Gokuden were once the top 5 schools of the forging art in Inazuma. Although these families were swordsmiths by craft, they also held many important positions in the Yashiro Commission. Unfortunately, of the 5, only the Aminoma art still maintains its artisan lineage. The descendants of the Ishin art are also still alive, but the craft has been lost to time. The descendants of the Ishin art are none other than the Kaidehara family.
Whoa! We knew Kazuha came from a noble family, but we had no idea about his connection to the Yashiro Commission and sword making.
Yes, but that's all part of the past now. The Ishin art was lost with my great-grandfather's generation. My grandfather was dissatisfied with my great-grandfather's lack of effort. When he was young, my grandfather traveled all over Tevat to find a way to revive the family business. But it was to no avail. And in my generation, our last remaining family property was lost as well.
I heard my elder brother mention that the decline of the Raiden Gokuden happened very rapidly. In the span of a few decades, 3 of the families suffered various misfortunes and disappeared completely. Later, there was speculation that all of these misfortunes stemmed from some background machinations, meaning that someone wanted to wipe out the Raiden Gokuden. However, since not every family of the Raiden Gokuden came to ruin, such explanations were treated as nothing more than a conspiracy theory.
Indeed. I've also believed such ideas were just theories and rumors. However, I know that a major incident happened to my great-grandfather when he was young. Not only did it affect the Kaedahara clan, but it nearly jeopardized the Kamisato clan's position in the Yashiro Commission as well. After reading the story of the 5 Kasen, I can't help but feel like it's pointing me toward the truth behind that incident.
What exactly happened to your great-grandfather, Kazuha?
I still can't say. I need to speak with someone to verify the details. Let's meet here again at noon tomorrow. I will tell you everything I know then.
Noon tomorrow? Okay, we'll go ahead and get this big one down too. So we'll skip to 12.
Ah, you're here. It appears everyone has arrived.
How did your investigation go, Kazuha?
Last night, I visited a former servant who once worked for my family. I was able to learn the entirety of what happened all those years ago. In my great-grandfather's generation, the Ishin art was tasked with forging an important Goshinto according to an ancient forging diagram. Though all the craftsmen involved were very experienced, the process was still unsuccessful. Every blade that was forged was defective. When the deadline came, the blade still wasn't finished, so the craftsmen all fled and hid for fear of punishment. The Kaedahara clan and Yashiro Commission then conducted an investigation. My great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan eventually tracked down the craftsmen near the seaside. However, they met fierce resistance from the craftsmen, and in the end they were unable to prevent them from escaping by sea. The Kaedahara clan was severely punished for the swordsmiths that had escaped, and the family gradually fell into decline. Moreover, I heard that the head of the Kamisato clan was injured by the fleeing swordsmiths, which combined with his advanced age caused him to pass away shortly thereafter.
Yes. The sudden passing of the family head left the Kamisato clan leaderless. Treacherous people took advantage of the situation and put the family's status in the Yashiro Commission at jeopardy. This single incident had profound effects. Even after the position as head of the clan was passed to my father, the Kamisato clan still wasn't able to regain its prior reputation.
I see.
But, thanks to my brother, everything is getting better now.
A lot of lore.
The failure to forge
A lot
the
of
blade
interesting
is
lore.
ultimately attributed to a lack of required skill and finesse. The Kaedahara clan and the Yashiro Commission always believed that was the case. However, the story of the 5 Kasen seems to imply that the failure didn't stem from a lack of skill, but rather, the diagram had been tampered with by someone. Miss Kamisato, I heard yesterday that the Yashiro Commission has still kept the diagram ever since the failed forging all those years ago. Might I ask you to do me a favor?
Yes, I understand. I will go back and search for the diagram. please come meet me at the Kamisato estate later?
You speak.
I speaking. Yes.
Yeah, I was going through some of the stories, so I'm like, I want to focus on the story. If I start hearing other voices, I lose track. Yeah. More story. I didn't realize how much story I go through.
There's a lot more lore around the Kamisatos and the Kaedaharas than I thought there would be. I didn't know.
To the end of that.
I didn't even know there was a connection between the two. Fascinating.
A lot of
Everyone, I've
background
managed to find the old diagram.
Though the diagram is well preserved, you can still tell that it's seen at least 3 or 4 centuries of history.
Whoa, that's pretty old. Is it still possible to find any evidence of tampering?
At this point, we can only try our luck and see how we fare.
This is the most screen time Venti has had in forever. What?
Make sure to press look at your quests.
Yeah, I know. I know. I haven't touched them yet. I know they're there.
Did you see the reward for one of them?
No, I didn't yet. What is the reward? You're looking about. You want me to what?
Spoil it.
Okay.
Although the effect is not too obvious, you can still see that some words have now started to smudge. Kazuha, this is clear evidence that this chart was indeed tampered with. Someone framed the Kaedehara clan all those years ago.
I see. But I fear that I've discovered this secret too late. When my grandfather was young, he proposed reviving the Ishin art many times to my great-grandfather. But my grandfather was only scolded for being too foolhardy. Yesterday, the former family servant said that my great-grandfather even went to the Yashiro Commission to request that diagram from the head of the Kamisato clan. He then showed that diagram to my grandfather and asked him and his subordinates to try to forge the sword. Sure enough, my grandfather also failed. My great-grandfather then told him, if you can't find the secret within, then the Ishin art deserves to fade from the world. My grandfather left Inazuma in a rage after hearing those words. He didn't ever see my great-grandfather again, even till the day of his passing. Looking back at it now, the argument between the two of them was simply meaningless.
Oh, Kazuha.
I heard that your great-grandfather was very industrious when he was young, but later in life, he no longer bothered with the forging arts. It appears that his failure took quite a toll on him.
Kazuha, did your great-grandfather really say, if you can't find the secret within? Did he use those exact words?
Yes. The servant said that he personally heard those words, and still remembers them very clearly. My grandfather was so angry at the time that he smashed my great-grandfather's cherished bonsai tree.
Wait, Albedo, are you trying to say?
Yes, it appears that you understand my meaning. Kazuha, if your great-grandfather thought that the Ishin art lacked finesse, then after witnessing his son's failure, wouldn't he have said something more along the lines of, your skills aren't sufficient? But instead he said, if you can't find the secret within. Don't you find that a little strange?
Huh? Oh. So you're saying my great-grandfather may have very well known that the failure was due to someone's tampering?
Yes. The current evidence suggests that is highly likely.
I apologize, but would you all please accompany me to the Tenryou Commission? After I became a wanted criminal, the Tenryou Commission seized my family's last remaining estate, which contained all of my family's old belongings. I want to inquire about the whereabouts of those belongings. If I can find them, we might be able to get some clues.
Alright, let's get moving.
Yeah, more teleportation. Hey, it's Kujo Sara. Hi.
What are you all doing here? Did something happen on Rito?
We're just here to ask about something.
Kujo Sara. Perhaps you still remember me.
Yes, I do. You're Kaedehara Kazuha, a wanted criminal during the Vision Hunt decree. However, your arrest warrant has since been repealed.
Sara, we'd like to ask about the Kaedehara clan's property that was seized by the Tenryou Commission. Do you know where all their belongings are now?
Yes, the items seized at that time are currently stored in the warehouse next to the police station. Since Kaedehara has come back to Inazuma, those items should be returned to their rightful owner.
No, I'm afraid you misunderstand. I'm not here to reclaim those belongings. I just want to investigate them for a personal matter.
I see. All right, I'll inform the police station. They'll take you into the warehouse.
Thank you, Sara!
Kaedehara, about the Vision Hunt decree.
Finally gets his closure.
That's all in the past now.
No, let him get her closure. Come on.
I know you've also had your own convictions and struggles. However, may I ask something of you?
Yes? What is it?
Currently, I have no plans to stay in Inazuma. As a result, those items from my family's estate are of no use to me. Madam Kujo, I believe you are a person of integrity. After our investigation is over, I'd like to ask if you can handle those belongings for me. Please, sell them, and use the money to help the poor.
All right, I understand. I'll be sure to take care of it.
Aw.
Time to go.
Now to go to the police station.
You must be here to investigate the Kaedehara clan's belongings. Well, Madam Kujo's already informed me of the situation. Please come this way.
To the police station we go.
The Kaedehara clan's belongings are stored in this warehouse. Unfortunately, the items are scattered throughout in order to save space. My deepest apologies. However, I have clearly marked the corresponding items, so they shouldn't be too difficult to find. I'll be waiting for you at the door. Please, come see me if you require any assistance.
Kazuha, since the items are scattered throughout the building, I propose we split up and look for clues.
Scatter!
Yes, sounds like a plan. Thanks for your help, everyone.
Alright. Start with Ayaka. Ayaka, how's it going for ya?
I'm currently investigating the sword rack.
Oh, Since the Kaidahara clan was a family of renowned swordsmiths, then this blade should be super valuable, right? Maybe it's a treasure of the Ishin art!
I'm afraid not. Although the sword rack is made of fine wood, the swords placed here appear to be quite ordinary. Due to the dire financial situation of the late Kaidehara clan, everything of value has probably been sold off already. The blade on the sword hasn't been sharpened, but there are many signs of use on the hilt. Perhaps Kaidehara used it for training as a child.
Let Paimon see! Oh, there seems to be a couple uneven characters etched into the scabbard. Kazu-ha. Wow, so it really was Kazuha's! Paimon can imagine what Kazuha was like as a kid.
I will continue investigating here and call you if I find anything interesting.
That's one. Alright, Albedo or Xingqiu or Venti. Oh, sorry, Xingqiu.
What did you find, Xingqiu?
I found quite the pile of old books. These books here are all related to smelting steel, and these are about the process of forging blades. This pile over here is all about plants and flowers.
The books about plants and flowers must have belonged to Kazuha's great-grandfather.
Could there be any clues in the book?
I skimmed through them just now, but I didn't find anything particularly worth noting. I shall take a closer look and let you know if I find anything.
Albedo.
Oh, it's you. Unfortunately, I have yet to find anything of value here.
Whoa, this folding screen looks pretty old, though.
Yes, perhaps if it were better maintained, then it could fetch a decent price. However, I doubt it could be sold in its current condition. I was taking a closer look just now and noticed a large piece of dirt caught in the fabric fibers on the back side. The soil is deeply embedded into the cloth. That means a great deal of force was used when the dirt was lodged into the cloth. It's likely that this patch of dirt is from the very flower pot thrown by Kazuha's grandfather.
Why don't you think this is of any value?
Because this is not what we are looking for now. Let me think. If I wanted to leave a message behind, I would probably choose to leave it on something a little more special.
Albedo seems to be thinking pretty hard. We better not bother him.
Okay.
There must be some around here somewhere.
What are you looking for, Venti? Oh no, I know what you're looking for.
Do you see all these pots here? Some of them are
Yeah, I
filled
knew
with
it.
liquor inside, right?
Hey! Everyone else is trying hard to help, and you're over here looking for a drink?
I merely jest, of course. Come on, we're close to uncovering the truth now. Why do you look so worried?
Well, Paimon doesn't really get why Kazuha told Sara to sell all these belongings. What if we don't end up finding anything today? Then wouldn't Kazuha lose the chance of finding out what really happened all those years ago? You know, just saying.
I know you are worried about Kazuha, but if you ask me, he is stronger than you think. Since Kazuha made such a request to Sara, that indicates he's already made his choice. Whether we find out the truth or not today, or whatever it turns out to be, he's ready to accept it.
Is this your Archon's intuition speaking?
No, not intuition. Rather, I've lived for a long time now, so you could say I have some experience in reading people. Leave the things here to me. You two can look around elsewhere.
Everyone, I've found something that you should all have a look at.
Okay.
Oh, seems Kazuha discovered something. Let's go see what he's got.
What did you get?
This flower pot was in my house for a long time. I heard that it was left behind by my great-grandfather.
Yeah, the plants seem to have been dead for a while now.
Well, after my great-grandfather stopped studying the forging arts, he picked up the hobby of keeping bonsai plants. Most of his prized plants were given to others once he became seriously ill. But he specifically left behind this dead plant at the time, and even instructed my grandfather not to throw it away in his will. My grandfather deeply regretted that he never managed to reconcile with my great-grandfather, so he left the plant exactly as it was. But now that I think about it, my great-grandfather could very well have left it behind for other reasons.
Now that you mention it, this flower pot is kinda suspicious.
Time to dig.
Yes. Let's take a closer look, shall we?
We finally found something! It's only a bunch of blank paper. Do you think someone already discovered the compartment and swapped the contents?
No, I do not think that is the case here. See the paper? It's quite yellowed, which means it's very old.
Maybe we need to try using water again.
You mean to say that these sheets have been written with special ink, like that which Miss Kamisato found before?
Yes, I agree with this hypothesis.
Okay, let's give it a dunk then.
There is a pond outside the police station. I'll use the water there.
Oh.
Well, how did it go? Those weren't just plain old sheets of paper, were they?
Just as everyone guessed, after I sprinkled some water onto the paper, writing did indeed begin to appear on it. It is a letter, written by my great-grandfather.
Oh? What does the letter say?
Is it something you can share with us?
It is. I'll tell you what my great-grandfather knew at the time, but before that, I wish to take you somewhere. Everyone, please follow me.
Alright, where are we going?
Kaedehara, why did you lead us to this beach?
Is this a place related to the contents of the letter?
It is. In fact, my great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan tracked the fleeing swordsmiths to this very location. Our hypothesis was correct. My great-grandfather was well aware of the truth behind the defective blades. And it was right here where they encountered the culprit who framed the Kaedehara clan and the Raiden Gokaden. It reads, "To whoever reads this letter, I, Kaedehara Yoshinori, have been held to a certain secret throughout my entire life. I don't have much longer in this world, and after much consideration, I finally decided to disclose the matter. All those years ago, when I was pursuing the swordsmiths alongside Commissioner Kamisato of the Yashiro Commission, I was not injured by one of the fleeing smiths. Rather,
it was night, and after the clues led us down to shore, I waited for the culprits to show themselves. However, there were no swordsmiths in sight, only a single eccentric stranger. This stranger claimed to be the one behind the failed forgings, and said that he had been patiently waiting.
Scaramouche!
He then threatened to destroy the Raiden Gokaden. That person was of able body, and in a blink of an eye, myself and the accompanying samurai had been defeated. Commissioner Kamisato was severely wounded, and I barely escaped death myself. My hat had fortunately blunted a blow to my head. The unusual stranger could have easily claimed my life at that moment. But, after noticing my appearance, he stopped his attacks and sternly asked if I had any connection with the name Niwa. I answered that it was my father's surname, and after my father disappeared, I was adopted by the Kaedahara family. Upon hearing my answer, the stranger paused. After a long silence, he suddenly said, "Tell her this. My name is Kuni Kuzushi." He then turned and left.
Scaramouche was behind all of this the entire time.
Wow. So that's what really happened.
Yes. My great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan escaped from death and learned that the forging diagram had been tampered with by Kuni Kuzushi. However, due to the encounter, the head of the Kamisato clan was worried that my great-grandfather would be falsely accused of being involved with the perpetrator. So even on his deathbed, the master of the Kamisato clan cautioned my great-grandfather to never speak of what happened. Because the perpetrator said he would destroy the Raiden Gokaden. My great-grandfather worried that the perpetrator would still return for vengeance. So, to protect his loved ones, he closed the family business. He said, "As the leader of the Kaedahara clan, I am deeply ashamed to witness the decline of the Ishin art. But as a father, it is my priority to ensure the safety of my children and grandchildren."
Or because he worried about his son's well-being.
That's right. If my grandpa had somehow discovered the secret behind the tampered diagram all those years ago, perhaps my great-grandfather would have told him the truth. Unfortunately, he failed to catch any of the hints in my great-grandfather's words. Miss Kamisato, it appears you were unaware of the happenings that my great-grandfather described here. What are your thoughts?
I suppose the reason the head of the Kamisato house never spoke of this to the family was due to similar safety concerns. If the perpetrator was capable of tampering with even the Shogun's diagrams, and could single-handedly defeat many men, then he is not an ordinary enemy. I will discuss this matter with Brother shortly, and investigate the identity behind the one called Kuni Kuzushi. Rest assured, we will act cautiously.
How are you feeling, Kazuo?
To be honest, as I read the letter, I felt much turbulence in my heart. But now I've managed to calm myself. My great-grandfather said in the letter that he did not wish his descendants to blindly seek revenge and be deceived by things of the past. Though he was in a tight situation when he wrote these words, I feel like they are still valid nonetheless. I think what's most important for each person is not the past, but the present. Even though we must carry the burdens from the past, there are also things we wish to strive for. Therefore, knowing the truth behind what happened is enough for me. I will live on just as my great-grandfather had hoped. That being said, if the enemy from all those years ago is still lurking and plotting to stir up more trouble,
Which he is.
then I definitely won't turn a blind eye.
Classic Kazuo, optimistic as always.
These are simply insights I've gathered from all that I've experienced. Thank you all for accompanying me in my search for the truth behind that incident.
Great! Now that we're done here, let's head back to Rito.
Nice.
Today is the final stage of the Iridori Festival. Not only will there be Shincho's signing event, but
Give me one of those riding dolls.
Let's take a stroll through the festival venue. Maybe we'll find everyone there.
Hello, traveler. Paimon?
Albedo, why is the portrait of Kuranushi all covered up? Paimon wants to see what your Kuranushi portrait looks like.
Don't worry. The unveiling ceremony will be starting shortly. You'll see what it looks like then. I will say that I'm most satisfied with this particular work. I even made a special trip to see someone in order to complete it. They gave me some very valuable suggestions.
What kind of person did you meet riding Shogun? That'd be kind of weird.
Is that so? Anyway, there is still time before the ceremony. You may have a look around the venue first.
Look for your friends on site. Okay. Let's go to the one at the docks first. Kazuha.
Kazuha, what are you doing here? Why aren't you at the festival?
I came here to take in the sea breeze. Such a bustling atmosphere is never really to my liking.
Are you really alright, Kazuha?
I knew you were still worried about me. Thank you, but please, don't worry. The things I said in front of everyone weren't just pretty-sounding excuses. Look. See this familiar harbor in front of us? Before, you could sit here all day without seeing a single ship pass through. Instead, all you would see were soldiers from the Kanjo Commission, guarding against possible intruders. But now, it's become a bustling place. Not only are foreigners coming to Inazuma again, but traffic between here and Watatsumi Island has also been picking up.
Yeah, Inazuma's already started to change, huh?
I was thinking, in some ways, each and every one of us are similar to this country. It might take a different amount of time for different people, but there will inevitably come a day when each person can let go of their burdens. And when they finally let go, they are free to follow the wind as they please.
Alright, next person. Oh, Venti and Yamiko.
Well, hello everyone.
Hey! What are you two doing together? Don't think we didn't see you two chatting up a storm just now. The moment we came over, you stopped talking.
Is that so? I'm afraid you're just overthinking things.
We were merely discussing wine and food. I'm sure you two wouldn't be interested.
I mean, Yamiko definitely knows Venti is the Archon.
Besides with sake, I personally prefer fried tofu.
Forget it. Even if those two are plotting something, they'd still never let us know.
Okay. Alright. Jingcho signing.
Traveler, Paimon, it's a pleasure to see you.
Did today's signing go as planned?
Indeed it did. Thanks to you, the signing event went off without a hitch. And I must say, the readers seem most satisfied.
Shito, is that just Paimon, or are you on the lookout for something?
You aren't mistaken, though I'm ashamed to admit it. But in fact, I have been on the watch for tourists from Liyue. After all, I came to Inazuma under the pretext of evaluating a potential investment. If an acquaintance were to see me sitting here, then there would be no way to hide the truth from my father. Fortunately, the crowds of readers that came flocking over have kept the usual tourists at bay. Oh, I should mention, Shu is also unaware of the real purpose of my trip. If you happen to meet him, please, remember to keep it a secret.
Don't worry, we got you covered.
Then, please accept my thanks in advance. I'm sorry that I can't chat long. There are still readers waiting in line. I'll see you later at the unveiling ceremony for Kuronushi's portrait.
Alright. Oh, there's Ayato.
Ah, greetings, traveler. Paimon.
Oh, Ayato! We finally get to see the busiest person of all.
Yes, there were many things which required my attention these past few days. Fortunately, the Iridori Festival is proceeding smoothly. The Tri-Commission cooperated closely to prepare this festival, so at long last, I can take a break today.
Brother and I are very grateful for your help.
Toma sure is taking his sweet time.
Oh, you're waiting for Toma.
Yes. Today is one of the rare occasions when Brother isn't busy. I was going to buy some books, but he said he wanted to come along. His treat. However, he forgot his wallet at home, so he asked Toma to go back and fetch it for him.
Of course he did.
I didn't think Ayato could ever be forgetful like that.
Brother always works diligently, and it's rare for him to ever put his duties to the side and relax. So, Toma and I really cherish such moments when he's forgetful.
Aww.
It's time for the portrait's unveiling ceremony. Let's head over to the 5 Kasen Plaza.
Everyone, welcome to the magnificent Iridori Festival. Today, we have ushered in the final stage of our festival. And now we will reveal the final portrait of the 5 Kasen, Kuronushi, which was done by none other than our guest artist from Mondstadt, Calx.
Yay.
Hyman has no idea what Albedo's portrait looks like. Oh, this is so nerve-wracking.
Let's all count down together.
3, 2, 1.
Huh? What's this? This piece depicts nothing but a background. I suppose Calx must have forgotten to include the character. Let's hear some words from Calx himself regarding the creative process behind this.
Now throw some water.
Hello, everyone. First, I would like to say that it was an honor to be invited to create the portraits of the 5 Kasen. The 5 Kasen are legendary figures from ancient Inazuma, famous for their works of poetry. As time passed, poems were composed about them, and they became the subjects of many stories. I learned from existing sources about those stories that the character of Kuronushi is the deepest and most differing of the 5 Kasen. Moreover, Kuronushi lacks a dedicated chapter among the stories. It's as if he is a behind-the-scenes role of the 5 Kasen. Perhaps we can assume that every creator had a different understanding of Kuronushi. So, in the same way, I also wanted to leave this character to everyone's own imagination. After all, the Iridori Festival is a place for everyone to express their minds through creative works.
Yep, that's Albedo for ya. His super logical explanation is sure to win everyone's approval. Well, it seems that our adventures at the Iridori Festival have come to a close.
Are you sure?
Huh? What are you talking about? Oh. Oh, right! We still haven't figured out who left those stories of the 5 Kasen for us to find.
But I have an inkling of who it might be.
Really? Come on then, who is it? Tell Paimon!
First, it's someone that knows every one of us.
Well, that makes sense. Otherwise, there'd be no way to give the right paper to the right person every time.
Also, they're connected with the Kayadara clan.
Right. Even though they were using stories to hint us toward Shincho's troubles, the real goal was to lead us to solve the secrets of the Kaidahara clan. Paimon gets it now. Well, at least Paimon thinks she knows. Let's go! We'll get to the bottom of this.
Look for that person.
The one who left the stories of the 5 cup. But because other than me.
Wait, you tell me Raiden left them around? Was it Ayato?
Ayato! You're the one behind the stories of the 5 Kasen! But don't you think you overdid it a little? Leading all your friends on a wild hunt like that?
As it just so happens, one of the reasons I'm here today is to explain the details behind this wild hunt.
Huh. Paimon wants to see how you'll explain yourself out of this one.
First of all, the start of this whole incident was due to mere happenstance. You see, Lady Yai happened to catch sight of Shincho and the editor carrying the books away one night. She thought it was interesting, so she asked me to tease them a bit.
Huh? So it was Miko after all! Paimon knew it! This thing had Miko written all over it!
That's right. But using the story of the 5 Kasen to guide you to the Kaidahara family's secrets was my personal touch. As for my roundabout approach, well, that was something which I had no choice but to do.
You had no choice?
Yes. Due to a certain incident that occurred earlier, I happened to notice the bonsai plants left behind by Kaedehara Yoshinori, as well as the blank papers hidden inside. I knew there was more than meets the eye regarding those papers, but it took me some time to figure out the secret behind the ink, the kind that would only appear when exposed to water. What Kaedehara Yoshinori said in the letter is very important for both the Kamisato clan and the descendants of the Kaedehara clan, especially Kazuha. The Kaedehara clan used to be subordinates of the Kamisato clan. It was my ancestors who were unable to protect them all those years ago. So now, this obligation fell on my shoulders. Although he has the right to know the truth, the closer he draws to things hidden out of sight, the closer he also draws to danger. I had to confirm whether Kazuha has both the will and ability to be privy to the truth. Of course, I could outright tell him the truth that I had discovered, but maybe he doesn't have the will that's required. In that case, the truth would only become a burden to him. If he lacks the ability, then he wouldn't be able to find the truth in the first place. In which case, it would be better to keep him away from danger altogether. Kaedehara Yoshinori left his message in a roundabout way precisely for this reason. For a long time, I yearned for a suitable opportunity to convey this matter, right up until the night when a legend of sword was smuggled away.
I think I found the worst thing.
Paimon gets it now.
This is horrible. If this is a part of the event...
Why was everyone else involved too?
Yeah, it wasn't only Kazuha. You brought all of the rest of us into this plan of yours.
I figured you would ask this question eventually. I merely saw that this matter would be of value to you. And more importantly, I hoped that while Kazuha and Ayaka were looking for the answers together, they would have some reliable friends by their side. Reliable friends who would be willing to protect them and make measured decisions. Friends who would spare no effort to lend a helping hand in times of trouble. I guess it is also very likely that you will face the same enemy together in the future.
The same enemy, yep. Scaramouche. So who is Kunikazushi?
You already know the answer deep down inside, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
The answer is actually hidden in the portrait of Kuronushi. When there is no one else near the portrait, you can confirm with your own eyes. As for the means of revealing that answer, well, you have used it many times before.
Wait for night.
This scenery is wonderful.
It's getting pretty late, so nobody else is around now. So Ayato must have been telling us to splash water on the portrait.
I figured on the splashing of the water on the portrait.
It's the balladeer!
Yeah. It's Scaramouche!
So he was the one behind the trouble all those years ago!
When there is no one else near the portrait, you can confirm with your own eyes.
Oh, I'm not
As for the means of revealing that answer,
why?
Well, you have used it many times before. Also, there's one last thing that we must discuss.
Like having a surprise tape.
I mentioned earlier that the occurrence of a certain incident made me notice the bonsai plants. I wish to tell you of that incident now. It was just after the Shogun announced the abolition of the Sakoku Decree. I heard that something had happened at the Tenryou Commission. They had discovered signs that someone had entered the warehouse storing the Commission's articles of evidence and confiscated items. But nothing was stolen. I felt something unusual about that incident, so I told Kujo Sara of the Tenryou Commission to treat it as if nothing happened. She was not to increase the guard or relocate the warehouse contents. In the meantime, I sent a member of the Shumatsuban to keep watch over the warehouse. And sure enough, someone was sneaking in and rummaging through the belongings of the Kaedahara clan.
You mean he was also looking for...
I let him search for a while, but in the end, he found nothing. Soon after, he had to leave Inazuma by boat.
Why didn't you send someone to catch him?
The best way to protect a secret is to treat it as if it doesn't exist, is it not? Besides, the identity of this person is not hard to guess. After he left Inazuma, I carefully checked the Kaedahara clan's belongings one by one, and eventually discovered the papers in the hidden compartment of the flower pot. I am certain that the papers are the secret which the infiltrator sought to find, though he couldn't confirm whether this secret existed at all. So, now on to my final question. Which part of Kaedahara Yoshinori's experiences was the secret that needed to be protected?
The Kaedahara Yoshino was spared.
I don't have an answer to this question at present, so I'll leave it to your future self. As for now, please, enjoy yourselves at the Iridori Festival.
Oh, a crown. Emotional event edit or to read to share my views with her. That would be on the exact same page. Get some pretty good overseas franchise on her. Newest version. Stage of Brilliance. It draws inspiration from an endgame phase of Liu chess games. There will be some devices present on the field. Players must analyze the situation, figure out how to use these devices, and carefully ponder stratagems that might be used to achieve victory. Faster than previous, so better to test will be sword test and no mistake. That is sound interesting. Alright. But okay. Alright. Do that later. Oh, there is a Raiden doll. Raiden furnishing. Nice. I'll go ahead and grab all these. Alright. And we'll go ahead and activate these.
What's the point of the story again?
Okay. Alright. Purple sakura lies sparse, the clear sand is fragrant. The purple sakura lies sparse, the clear sand is fragrant.
Why do things have to be this way?
Or campaign. Medium high champagne bloom. Medium high champagne bloom is on the front set too. Okay. Front right is a short. And medium high champagne bloom back left. Tall champagne bloom in the center. And a tall in the back right. Okay, so I understand now how this works.
You know, according to the arrival schedule, there should be one last ship arriving in Rito today. But the Iridori Festival is coming to an end. Who would be showing up now?
Good point. Who would be showing up?
Oh, it's almost time. Let's go to the harbor and take a look.
are leaves around. And I know just...
Okay. Oh, okay.
I follow the wind.
It's Kokomi!
Nice to see you again. Wow! It's Kokomi and Goro! So the Divine Priestess and the General of Watatsumi Island have come to take part in the Iridori Festival. Yes, but we are not here representing Watatsumi Island's administration. We were invited as individuals. Things are quiet in Watatsumi Island at the moment, and I wanted to buy some books. So I decided to make the trip here. Goro was not greatly interested in the Irodori Festival, but he said if I was going to Rito, he would join me.
Her Excellency is traveling outside of Watatsumi Island and also meeting her pen pal today. As her general, it is my duty to ensure her safety at every turn.
Pen pal? Yes, we started corresponding just recently.
Who's your pen pal?
My pen pal and I share very similar tastes in light novels, and we always have a lot of interesting thoughts to share. Of course, there are also times when we fiercely disagree. Since we were both coming to the Irodori Festival this time, we decided to take the opportunity to hold a book review session and discuss our views on various novels in more depth. Sounds pretty professional. Hey, since you both like novels, why don't you try writing one together? Who knows, maybe you'll shake things up on the Inazuman literary scene. That's a very interesting idea. It's almost time. Goro and I must go to meet my pen pal at the agreed-upon location. Kokomi, Paimon's super curious about this pen pal of yours. Can Paimon come with you? Don't worry, Paimon will just watch from a distance and won't interrupt anything. Let me think. Yes, I think it should be fine for you two to come with me. Alright, let's go together.
Okay, I'll do this one first.
World I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth.
So many complaints. What should I do?
Need any help?
Ah, are you the traveler who my superior said would come and help us out? You came at the perfect time. We're facing a small problem here. As you know, the Iridori Festival is underway. In addition to all the things on sale, there's a lot of free entertainment programs available. But today, we received numerous complaints that a group of people have been hogging the Tanuki photo board. They won't leave, so no one else gets to use it. What a headache.
Can't you arrest them?
Arrest them? Well, it would solve the immediate problem, but don't you think that if the Tenryou Commission starts arresting people without good cause, we'll soon have a bigger problem on our hands? The first thing we tried was negotiating with them, but ultimately these facilities are open to everyone, and there's no time limit on usage. This means that as long as they haven't done anything technically illegal, even if they keep hogging it, there is nothing we can do. So, Can you try negotiating with them for us? If these complaints can't be resolved and Madame Cujo finds out, I'll lose my bonus this month for sure.
Having a photo board, huh? We know who would do something like that. Should we go and have a look?
Thank you so much. You'll find them by the Tanuki photo board just east of the square.
The Five Kasen Plaza is significantly less crowded now, but it's still too early to relax. This is a serious matter, and we must remain vigilant. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Sarah!
Oh, it's you. Do you have something to report?
Nothing to report.
Good. The Tenryou Commission has a responsibility to ensure public order and security during the Irodori Festival. If anything comes up, come to me.
Oh, you look really busy. Has something serious happened?
Nothing serious, really. We've just received a lot of reports in the past few days over things like line cutting, reselling goods at inflated prices, even troublemakers hogging the photo board. All minor incidents, but it all adds up to create a lot of work for a lot of people.
Sounds tough.
Still, I take the fact that so many people are turning to us for assistance as a sign that the Tenryou Commission is gradually regaining the people's trust. Shogun gave us orders to provide security at the Irodori Festival. This is a rare chance to change people's perception of the Tenryou Commission, so we cannot afford to slip up. Even if it's tiring work, we must rise to the challenge.
Well, no matter how busy you are, at least you still found some time to come here and buy an Almighty Shogun figurine, right? We want to buy one too!
What do you mean, figurine? I'm just patrolling these parts. In fact, I was just about to leave.
No need to be shy. Actually, Miko told us that you got up super early this one time to make sure you could be the first in line to buy one of these figurines.
That Lady Gucci, how could she disclose... Never mind. To be clear, I have no intention to hide that which I do out of reverence alone. But there is one thing you must be corrected on.
Oh? What is it?
That is not a figurine. It's a statue of Her Excellency, the Almighty Narukami Agosho, God of Thunder. Do I make myself clear?
Almighty Narukami Oga... got it.
This particular statue of Her Excellency, the Almighty Narukami Agosho, God of Thunder, is a brand new addition. There will only be 300 available in this batch, and there is a limit of 1 per customer. Many people have been lining up since well before dawn to acquire one. I'm afraid if you're only showing up now, you're probably too late.
Oh, really? So you definitely must have gotten here pretty early too then. Did you manage to get one yet?
Normally, of course, I would come to purchase one myself. But on this occasion, my duties at the Irodori Festival had to take priority. We are required to report for duty long before the shops open. It is regrettable, but I had no choice but to forego the chance this time.
Aw, what a shame.
So instead, I had someone purchase one on my behalf.
Oh, right! Wait, you can do that? Didn't you say they're limited to 1 per customer? This figurine is super popular. It must be pretty tough to find someone happy to buy one for you and not for themselves.
I anticipated the same at first, but Lady Guji Yae found a professional to assist me, saying she appreciated our tireless efforts during the festival period. I don't know who the professional is. I assume it would be either someone from the Grand Narukami Shrine or from the Yashiro Commission, but I did not ask. Given the time, I believe they should have completed the purchase by now. I am fortunate to have had Lady Guji's help this time. I likely would have struggled to find a candidate on my own. As well as being willing, they would need to be an early riser, and also tall enough to beat the crowds to the top shelf items.
Early riser and tall.
Oh,
What was that sound?
probably just the leaves.
Really? Well, never mind. I've been here long enough. It's time for me to head to my next patrol zone. Stay safe during the Iridori Festival.
Uh-oh, you found me. Sayu, what are you doing here? Oh, wait! Are you the professional? Shh, quiet. She might still be in earshot.
Have you been slacking off again?
No way. I've been here since last night so I could buy a figurine. But after waiting and waiting, my eyes started to feel real droopy. And I only meant to take a short nap, a really quick one.
In short, you overslept.
Oh, if I don't buy one of these figurines, the Tenryou Commission...
Really not.
Sheesh. Goodness knows what Miko told you. I guess my only hope now is to sacrifice my salary for this month and buy one off of someone who got here in time.
I'm good at driving a hard bargain.
Great! Then, here's my salary. Please don't spend it all.
Huh, you didn't manage to get one either? That's strange. She'd been lining up since before sunrise, and she was around the one... something's wrong here.
After coming all this way to eat, the first batch was smaller than I expected. Well, since I'm here now...
Why so glum? Sell it? Huh. I ain't selling. Not a...
I can't believe it. I am definitely done for this time. A whole load of people are saying they didn't manage to get one. Did the shopkeepers get the count wrong or something? Oh, why don't we go ask at Apekasu? Might as well. I guess there's nothing to lose.
Terribly sorry. I was otherwise occupied this morning and had someone else watch the shop. So I don't know all the details, but according to our records, we did sell the full 300.
Hey, what about those ones at the back? Aren't they for sale?
I'm sorry, those are display only. Please don't be too disappointed. We're only selling a limited number of these statues at the festival, and this was only the first batch. Please rest assured, you will all have the chance to purchase one in the future.
But when will the next batch be ready? Also, this poor guy came all the way from Mondstadt. He got here earlier than me and was at least 50 places ahead of me. Even he didn't get one. How do you explain these numbers?
Look, I don't know a whole lot about Inazuman festivals, but they do seem to have sold out pretty quickly.
I'm terribly sorry, but I've triple-checked the sales records for this morning, and everything seems to be accounted for.
Why don't we get the Tenryou Commission to investigate this?
The Tenryou Commission? No way.
Sorry, who are you?
This is the professional from the Yashiro Commission.
Are you saying this falls under the Yashiro Commission's jurisdiction?
Yeah, it does. We will follow up on this matter, so there's no need to go to the Tenryou Commission. They're busy enough as it is. That's weird. How come Sayu's so motivated to work all of a sudden? Shh. If the Tenryou Commission finds out about this, Kujo Sarah will come ask me about it. And then she'll find out that I didn't buy her figurine. And... Anyway, we can't get the Tenryou Commission involved. Not unless there's no other way.
Huh. Well, since someone's already on the case, I suppose I'll just wait for the findings.
Since I came all this way and didn't get a figurine, I guess I might as well look at what else is available.
Thank you both for your understanding. We will make an announcement as soon as the results of the investigation come out.
So we're supposed to be investigating, but we don't have any leads at all. Oh, maybe the customers really did make a mistake with the count. If only we had... You mean me? Sorry, I was asleep. Did I hear anything? Let me think.
I'll take these, please.
Thank you for your patronage. Please come again.
Thank you. Patronage. Oh yeah! No, huh? That's not how you count it! 16 snores should be about 1 minute. And if we add on the time for moving the boxes and stocking the shelves... Right! Sales only started about 4 hours ago, so there's definitely a problem with the amount. Which means, even though I only woke up just now, I still have... Well, anyway, maybe I failed my mission, so then... Well, the shop was pretty strict with this promotion. Not only was there a 1 per customer limit, they even checked people's identity. So there's no way anyone could have bought more than 1.
No wonder each transaction took long.
People patrolling the area, no one could have cut the line, right?
A process of elimination? Remaining option is...
Up to no good. They definitely try to find a... Let's go ask the guy who says he had to put in a lot of...
Time to go. Huh? You want to know how I got my hands on the statue?
Huh? Why? It's not like...
It's a no, okay? No more questions.
Huh? How come?
A staff member sold it to you.
How did you know?
We're professionals.
Oh, right.
Okay, fine. Since you guessed it anyway, I came here bright and early to line up. But the first batch of statues sold out almost immediately. I wasn't very happy about that. To my surprise, I saw him moving boxes and boxes worth of statues out of the store. Needless to say, I was all ready to march up and demand to know, well, yes. But I paid the shop assistant full price for it, so it was still a...
It's not for you to decide whether it was a legitimate transaction or not.
Huh? It's...
The Tenryou Commission has received reports that someone has been hoarding goods to resell at extortionate prices. Now, these are not classed as strategic materials, so some amount of... It is against the law for a staff member to abuse their position to forge sales records and We have already investigated the situation at Apeikusu. The sales records are correct, but in the cash box, there are 2 bags in which most of the cash has been replaced with stones.
But...
Please hand over your statue of Her Excellency, the Almighty Narukami Ogosho, God of Thunder, as evidence. We will compensate you for your loss once we catch the individual responsible.
Fine. So this guy was cooking the books. Never saw that coming.
You guys figured this out pretty quick.
In fact, we were only just tipped off. We're still working on the logistics of the arrest operation.
Yikes! I've been spotted.
Oh, you must be the professional Lady Guji hired. I was just wondering why I hadn't seen you yet.
We were investigating...
Is that so? Then thank you. The Tenryou... really? Thank you. So, where is the statue of Her Excellency, the Almighty Narukami Agosho, God of Thunder?
Oh, yeah. Sayu spent the whole night investigating the staff. So, by the time she got back, she was just... Yeah, right. I definitely would have made it back in time to buy one, if only...
I see. So in the end, don't blame yourself. The criminal is the one responsible here. According to the intelligence, the suspect has already started reselling the statues. If we confront him head-on, he's likely to destroy the evidence and dash. Instead, we will seek to quietly surround him. But in order to achieve this, we will require one person to approach and distract him. Since you've spent the whole night thoroughly investigating this situation, would you be willing to help the
What?
Time to go.
Who introduced you? I'm trying to keep a low profile here, so I'm afraid I don't take any new business except for referrals by existing customers.
We were referred by the one who caught you stealing the statues.
That guy. Fine. He did but let me be clear. This product is highly...
The price has gone up again?
Well, you can take it or leave it. Believe me, there's plenty more room for upwards mobility on the price. It just so happens to be in my interest to get these off my hands sooner rather than...
We gotta keep negotiating as long as we can.
Will this figurine keep its value over time?
I don't have time for this. Just name... Hey, at that price, why don't you just ask me to give... Fine. I swear, if I wasn't in...
Hold on!
What's to negotiate? Do you want it? You think this is a game or something? If you're not serious about buying, quit wasting my time.
The next location you move to will be the police station. You are under arrest for abusing your position for personal gain and falsifying accounts. Do not attempt to...
The Tenryou Commission? When did you...
Stick 'em up!
Thank you for your help. The culprit has revealed the location where he stashed the statues, and we have sent people...
Great! So once Epekusu has counted the goods and stuffed the shelf... This time,
I'm afraid it's not that simple. The stolen goods will have to be kept as evidence at the police station for some time.
Paimon can't believe...
I would be grateful if you could inform the shopkeeper about this.
Although Sora didn't say anything, she seemed a little disappointed, don't you think? Aww, is there really nothing?
Time to go.
And who is the pen pal?
This is the meeting spot.
There's no one else around. It looks like we're early.
My.
Yeah, I knew it.
Have we here?
Miko? Oh no, Paimon hadn't counted on running into Miko. She and Kokomi are on different sides, and they also believe in different gods. Or are they gonna end up having a fight? Lady Guji of the Grand Narukami Shrine. No wonder. I was just wondering where that air of superiority was coming from.
If it isn't the leader of Watatsumi Island, who looks as soft as a jellyfish, but whose words sting like one too.
Uh-oh, this is getting out of control fast! Hello. Nice to meet you, fried tofu with all the frills.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine, soul of the deep.
Hey, what's going on here? Miko is Kokomi's pen pal? No, it can't be. Look at them. Clearly they already knew each other. Does that mean...
It's just a cover-up.
Whatever are you talking about? I don't understand. I'm simply here for the book review session with Miss Soul of the Deep. Let's go. The venue for this meeting is in the Kanjo Commission headquarters up there. The view is excellent, making it a perfect place to drink tea and discuss creative ideas.
Who holds a book review in the Kanjo Commission? You seriously expect anyone to believe that? You're not here to talk about shaking up the Inazuma literary scene. You're here to talk about shaking up things in Inazuma as a whole! Watatsumi Island will soon hold formal talks with the Shogunate on Inazuma's future development. It's essential to have an informal meeting like this one before the formal talks begin.
Right, especially with someone outside of the Shogunate like myself, who is in a good position to test out where each party draws the lines. But this is just our first meeting. It's a little too early to announce it to the general public.
Huh. Okay then.
By the way, where is your general? Didn't you say he would be joining you?
Huh. That's right. Where did Goro go?
He's hiding.
Goro went to buy some books for me. He won't be attending the book review.
Oh, what a pity. I was rather looking forward to seeing his fluffy ears again.
Oh, I get it.
Traveler, I'd like to talk to you. I have been getting the sense that Goro does not like having to deal with Gujiae. So I was initially reluctant to bring him to read. I noticed he instinctively hid as soon as he saw her just now. However, Goro has a strong sense of responsibility and will feel ashamed when he next sees me. So, I would like to give him the task, but Goro rarely buys anything. So... Kokomi, you focus on the meeting with Miko. Leave the books to us and Goro. Thank you. I made a list of the books I'd like to buy. Please, pass it on to Goro.
Alright, I think I'll stop there for the night. See you guys next time.